Many people today use all kinds of very convenient plastic products. What isn't always seen is that animals are getting tangled up and strangled in plastic strings in the ocean, and that beaches are full of plastic trash. Parts of the earth have been covered in a plastic layer. I'd like to show a clip of how plastics show up in the oceans and just how big of a problem plastic waste is, and will continue to be if alternate solutions do not come into place.
Our oceans sustain life. An abundant ocean can feed 1 billion people a healthy meal every day forever. But now they are being killed by throwaway plastics. The equivalent of 1 garbage truck of plastic is dumped in the sea every minute. 17.6 billion pounds every year.
There is an overbearing amount of plastic in the world today. There are various landfills full of it, and the oceans are very much threatened by the man-made chemically processed plastics that we use in many ways for everyday uses. Recycling today isn't as effective as it should be, or it has said to be. Even if one recycles plastic products from one's home, the area of residency doesn't always necessarily have the means to actually recycle products for reuse. In the Phoenix area, most recycling is actually being taken to the trash, since things such as cheesy pizza boxes and plastic grocery bags are being put into recycling when they don't belong. This contamination has actually caused Surprise, Arizona to suspend its recycling program since August 2019. Mesa was also the latest to cut back on what it recycles due to cost. Other states are not recycling as they should. 81% of waste in New Mexico ends up in landfills, incinerators, or spilled into the environment. So plastics are filling up the landfills, and when not properly disposed of, are filling beaches and going into the oceans, damaging coral reefs and hurting animals. In the landfills, plastics are harmful and are not able to biodegrade for 1,000 years or more. The ocean can bring back many memories and beautiful pictures to mind. I'll ask you to join me on an adventure into our imaginations and picture what comes to mind with the word ocean. Now take it in. Now I'll ask everyone to picture the words dump, landfill, and waste. These words bring up different feelings, and the ocean should look clear and beautiful, and the dump should look dirty and a place where you wouldn't want to spend all day soaking in the sun. So, how can we keep our beaches clean with all the plastic pollution damaging it? And how can we keep landfills confined and sustainable? Who likes bacteria? Well, the good kind. Scientists have accidentally developed a plastic-eating bacteria called Idenella schinicis. Idenella schinicis is a bacterium from the genus Idenella and family Comeduscae, capable of breaking down and consuming the polyethylene PET as a sole carbon and energy source. If this bacteria is developed on the mass scale, it could potentially aid in the process of breaking down plastic much faster than its natural phase of breakdown. The mutant enzyme takes a few days to start breaking down the plastic, far faster than the centuries it takes in the oceans. But the researchers are optimistic this can be speeded up even further and become a viable large-scale process. Oliver Jones, a chemist at RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia, said, "I think the new research is very exciting work, showing there is strong potential to use enzyme technology in help with society's growing waste problem. So the enzymes are non-toxic and can benefit the planet to aid in helping the carbon footprint being left behind." So, how will it work? It works by secreting an enzyme, a type of protein that can speed up chemical reactions, known as PETase. This splits certain chemical bonds, esters, and PET, leaving smaller molecules that the bacteria can absorb, using the carbon in them as a food source. So, after the bacteria is implemented in landfills, it can do its work. Also, the bacteria could be implemented into beaches. At this point, it needs to be tested under control to see if there's any side effects to animals and to the coral reefs, having it directly in the ocean. So major objections that would be presented is that it would have to have bioreactors everywhere to make it effective. Also, they have to be highly controlled. The fact that it evolved to degrade and consume plastic in the first place suggests this material we rely on so heavily, plastic, may not be as durable as we thought. If more bacteria began eating plastic in the wild, then products and structures designed to last many centuries could come under threat. The plastics industry would face the serious challenge of preventing its products being contaminated with hungry microorganisms. The cost is also unknown at this point in time, so government funding is highly unlikely at this point. And it's the state money where the money would come from too. So it would have to be presented as a high priority. Also, using direct enzyme spraying or microbes engineered to deliver environmentally active enzymes widely in the sea presents all kinds of unassessed hazards. In general, such interventions have a long history of including underappreciated side effects, and we would be well served to take it slow. Even with this, people are so close to finding a way to help the environment in ways to help try to control the damage caused from years and years of plastic waste. So today I challenge you to, instead of using plastic bottles, grocery bags, and plastic straws, to integrate reusable everyday items into your home. With this, we can limit the production of these plastic products by cutting back on the purchases of them. So I want to show you a clip to really get insight into how this is a global disease.
Plastic production globally this year is expected to be more than 300 million tonnes.
Half of which we'll use just once and then throw away. By 2050, when the population explodes to almost 10 billion people, it's expected that plastic production will triple. The problem with that is that today only a fraction of the plastic that we produce is recycled. The rest ends up in our environment, and it's coating our land and our oceans like a disease.
Thank you so much.